Hello, my beautiful ignited souls. Thank you for joining me, Crime Queen, here on this beautiful. Okay, it's locked down, but it's still beautiful. Because why is it beautiful? It is beautiful because this is presenting us an opportunity to go within, to come home. It is almost a shame that for most of us, we have to be forced to be at home in the sense of that it is ordered or we feel that it's an imposition instead of we had taken the initiation to go within this home, to explore this home, to check all the chambers, because there are places within us or within our homes that we haven't visited for a while. We haven't sat there for a while. We hadn't looked into those cupboards. We've forgotten what's inside, what's been locked up inside. I feel a lot of what is happening in the world today is presenting us this opportunity to go within our hearts, those chambers in our hearts, to explore the areas and declutter, like I've said in another video, to declutter things that we have been holding on to for a long time. And that could be items like clothes, shoes, or for many, particularly female, handbags or lots of material stuff that we may have no need for, but we just hold on to them because we've been with the hope or with the notion that one day we are going to wear it. Or we know we may never wear it. It may be too big or too small, but we did spend a lot of money on it, so we're not ready to part with it. Well, I feel now is the time for us to really examine those items. Give it one last look, give it one last try, and say goodbye to it. Yes, it's as simple as that. Why do we want to hold on to things? In fact, I had this notion or this aha moment that I should really take time and go through my friends, even on Facebook, and see the ones that I need to just delete or unfriend or on my Facebook, because believe it or not, I feel that whether it's psychologically or not, there is a degree of weight that we are still carrying, which is not necessary. So it could be, email. This is something I need to do as well. Delete files that we know we're never going to use, or we haven't opened them for X amount of years. I'm sure I have mails that I have been holding on to for several years, so I'm going to delete those. And that's what we are talking about. There's a cleansing that we need to be doing, and that is not just physically, materially, it is spiritually, it is socially, it is in all areas of our lives. So this, I believe, is really presenting us an opportunity to do just that in our home, in this home, in this home, our heads, our minds, how we are thinking, how we are feeling, the decisions we are making, what we are eating. This is a home, and how we are going to engage the gods to work harmoniously with us. So, for instance, I've been looking at the divided God. The divided God is the fifth God. So he holds the fifth position as in our template. Now, I'm not sure I saw this before with the hundreds of videos that I've done, but the divided God comes, he creates newness. And this, if you're new to this channel, so this is the template. I'm going to turn this camera around so to make it easier so you can see. I'm going to be very careful here. Okay. So if you're new to this, here's our template, and it's the sacrifice template. Now, I've held on to the sacrifice. I really wish that it were something other than like a dedication, another word for sacrifice, because sacrifice is like something you are giving away, but you don't quite want to give it away, even if we understand the story of Christ where he says, I have come to save the world, or the sinners. But when it came to the crux of the matter, he says, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? You know, perhaps there was a notion or an idea that it would not come to that which was experienced. I'm talking about the story of Jesus Christ be on sacrifice. So this template was devised from the story of Jesus Christ, which is coming into the same time of year, around Easter time, that this template was devised. And we found out that here in the fifth position is always creating newness. And we have the number 6 here, which tells me that the 6th here is the said God, as in the 14 gods. So if you're new to this, you may want to have a look at Template to Numerology or something like that by Crimey Queen on this channel, and to understand more about these, because some of the letters here have been rearranged in the same column, but they have been rearranged. For instance, the BKT have been rearranged, or no, I think it's the only one that has not been rearranged, and perhaps Fox as well. So just to give you an idea or a flavor of this, we see that the I, there's an I here, and on either sides of the word sacrifice are 4 letters. So the word sacrifice has 9 letters, sorry, and 9 coincides with the 9 gods that I have been talking about, just saying that the number coincides. It also coincides with the number of numerology, numbers 1 to 9. So here we have 5, which is new. So this tells me here that the divided God in this position, because I have listed these gods, as they appear in the Bible. So basically we had God created the heavens and the earth and moved, and there was something moved upon the face of the deep. So, and God said, so the third entry we have is the said God, which reminds me that not only the said God appears here as the third God of the 14 gods, but the first words or the spell of Mother Eve, which is the said God, because the said God is the God of words and is the God of wisdom, coinciding with the God, we would say, in the Garden of Eden, the serpent, right there. the God of words, did God say you shall not, surely you shall not die? You know, so basically there was a psychology happening here. So the serpent didn't tell a lie, but however, the serpent was teaching language. The art of language was being taught right there. This is why we are asked to have discernment, to seek knowledge. More than anything else, seek understanding. I love this. So it also shows us here that the said God here coincides with the six. Six, of course, number six, writing six also coincides with the number seven. So the word serpent equals seven. So we can see the correlation. Wow. We could see the correlation with the said God, number six, and of course, seven. Seven also equals 2 or 20. And that's what we have been covering in this time, in this lockdown in our world. We are looking at number 20. 20, of course, is when we write the word 20, it gives us 26, meaning there are two sixes, we could say. And of course, these are the two creations. There were two creations in Genesis. So, how we know there are two creations, we could see, of course, we are like replica. We are recreated, if you like. And God said, let there be light, and God said, and there were seven lettings or letters or contracts. And this seven, of course, when it came to the eighth one, because the seven is inclusive of the day of rest, so there's another cycle happening. And the cycle goes on like this. Now we are also in this eighth cycle. The number 8, of course, which is the number of God, we could say, number of infinity, that tells us that what we are going through is just cycles on top of cycles. This was revealed to me in my book, Getting Onto the Bridge of Actualizing Self-Full Love. Okay, I know it's a lot of reading, but I don't know why people find it odd to have a title like this when there's so many more words in the book. However, it's the way things are. So, the story was really somewhat like this. Again, this I have chosen from, not chosen, intuitively, really. Oh, there's the serpent here as well. This is very synchronistic. So we have balance here, and this is what I'm talking about. There were two creations. So this two creation, although we see it's one serpent here, but we see it's representing two creations, and it's the coming together, because that's what Mother Eve is doing. She brings the two worlds together with understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And now this is what our world, through this virus, that has permeated the world, so to speak, is now getting us to ask questions. What is happening? Why is this happening? What can I do? What am I meant to do? All these questions are coming to the fore to get us to examine ourselves, to get us to care about our neighbor, to get us to forgive, to get us to reconnect, more so to reconnect with Mother Nature, with Mother Eve, with Source. So Mother Eve, as we have seen here. So I was thinking I have been talking and didn't put a title to this, but really I'm just doing another video from where I left off with the first one. It's about corona numerology. How is this affecting us? Or not just how it's affecting us, we know how it's affecting us, but how has it played out in numerology? And when we seek to understand, perhaps we'll understand more about the hidden messages in the scriptures that speaks volumes, really, because this I am talking about on numerous videos I did, and I could feel Mother Eve was really calling us home. And this is still the message. She's calling us home, calling us, come back, come, come. I've got a message for you. I've got a word for you. I've got healing for you. There's so much healing you need to do. I need to show you how. And this is what Mother Eve has been trying to tell us. She's also saying, the same way you have been taught that I did wrong, I did evil, now you are with the same reputation. So I want to show you how to put things right. Now, because we have been taught that Mother Eve is responsible for all mistakes instead of us taking responsibility for all action, we are finding it difficult to face Mother Eve, the serpent. So I want to show you in this year 2020, which I have showed how we've got the 2-7 creations, because 7 days and 7 days. 7 plus 7 is 14. That makes up the 14 gods. 1 plus 4 is 5. This is where we see 5 as the divided God. Now, 5 is the position that the divided God had taken on board. So here we see, if we were to look at the position here of the divided God, because even the word divided, you could actually see like there's Eve in it, I-V-I. So we could say, oh, it also have I-V-E-V-E or I-V or whatever you could connect Eve with is also here. And this is where we see the correlation where it says God, Eve's action had brought about division. This is the number, we could say, or the position of creativity. Hence, 5 is called the number of alchemy. This is the number where we create. We can create things through this number. But it also has the numerical value of 3, which coincides with the position of Mother Eve here. So we see here, this 5 is the position of the divided God. The divided God, of course, we could see the attribute of Mother Eve right here, because that's when it is said division was created in the Garden of Eden. So we have 3, the numerical value for divided, but the connection here is the same. So the position of the said God, which is Mother Eve, is 3, and that position here, as we see, it's almost as if they swapped position, almost, because 3 is reflected here, and Eve, as in the said God, is also reflected here. We can see that all the gods, it's the intertwinement of the gods that is our makeup. So to see them as different entities is not perhaps the best way, because they all are part of our makeup. So if we see ourselves as one entity, that means the 14 gods, we encapsulate the 14 gods. So our hands, as I said, and our eyes, our head, our feet, all those are operating on different functions. And that's how the gods are operating. But it is important that we get to understand their functions in our lives so we can know how to, if you like, manipulate them, because we are mankind. So that's what we do. We then manipulate. And I don't mean this in a somewhat obnoxious way, but it's really having that humanness in how we are made up, because we can materialize their attributes through our behavior, our thinking, and our behavior. So, back to 20, we are in 2020. I have showed how the gods are 14, and how 14 becomes 5, and how 5 is really Eve, and Eve is really the said God, the God of words and wisdom. So we have these two sevens. In here, we can see the list, this list here. The gods are reflected here again. We could see that they are reflected in these two sevens. We can see the pattern of 2764. Here we have 2764. They actually look like they are mirroring each other. It's like saying our left and our right side. This is what is happening right here. And here in this pattern as well, we could see that it equals 8. So 4 as a foundation and of one set of gods, and 4 as the foundation of the other set of gods. Then we move on to the 9th entry, which is where we could say this blessed word and this divided, basically coinciding with the word, the very first word in the Bible, in, in, which has the correlation, which has the numerical value of 9 and 5. So here we have 9 and here we have 5. So we see that 9 here coincides with the blessed God. This is all in chapter 1, if I remember clearly, that where God blessed man and he became a living soul. So there was this other cycle of something phenomenal happening, which is number 2. We can see blessed equals 3, 3 equals 29, 29 is 2. And this is what we are talking about. This number 2 here, man became a living soul. There was change. There was major change, because man became a life living soul. Now, to show as well why this blessed word is the start of another cycle, we can also see that it equals 3 here, and we see 3 here. So every time we see this 3, for instance, we know that this 3 here and 3 here is the demarcation of major change. When we do the numerical value for the word coroner, it equals 30. 30 is 3 in numerology. And this is what we see is happening here. So we are beginning another cycle. This other cycle here, this is where we are. So sometimes I think a lot of the times we go on, we around saying, bless you, bless you. We perhaps have not given much thought to the essence of the word blessed. Of course, when we say bless you, we are saying be less. But God blessed Adam and Eve, or God blessed them. It is said blessed. So there was the past tense there saying that there was a new cycle. They were already where he says to be less, because it goes on to show the other cycle is taking place where he says, now be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion. So basically, it's no wonder we have an attribute or an understanding or thinking that we are less than we are, to have um, this crave for many of us to seek when we think we be less, and we go around thinking, oh, I've got to have this and I've got to have that, I've got to have this and have that. But it is in that process that we come to understand we already have it. It is, we already we have the beehive, which I have got videos on the bee. It is like bee. What do you want to be? You want to be less or less? Like in past tense. Now, it may seem like I'm playing with words here, but we are asked to seek wisdom. And in Proverbs, this is the text that had got me really laughing out loud. It's like wisdom. You can find her in the marketplaces, bantering prices. She is like the harlot. She is like the high priestess. She is like everything. She is wisdom, and that is what we have been asked to seek. Seek wisdom. In fact, there's also a parable that a man, its wisdom is like a man who found a very prized jewel. When he found it, he dug a pit and buried it, because I think he was scared of losing it. But this is another video altogether. Basically, we are asked to seek wisdom, and this wisdom here, I feel the gods are really showing us already to teach us how to find this wisdom. So the coroner here, we see with number 3, as I have showed in some of my videos, 3 is very dynamic. 3 is like the 8 that had been broken. So it also reminds me, like when it is said, and they ate of the fruit. They ate, Adam and Eve ate. That also equals 8. So eat or ate is 5, 1, 2, and this is 8. So if we were to do the numerology for the word 8 is 31. I'm not going to go to all these. It's 31, which is like a month. Now, I see a month, the word month, like mouth as well, as if there's a relationship there. Because in a month, you can do, a cycle is there in a month. In the month is like the mouth. The mouth takes in, it speaks, it sucks, it blows, it does everything. And so it is likewise in a month, that like a woman on her menstrual cycle, she goes through this complete womanhood, if you like, in this cycle. She can be impregnated, she could be she could be without a period, she could jump up and down one time and next minute she's pregnant. There is so much in this month. So month, and the word month, if you just turn that N upside down and turn it into a U, this is mouth. And this is where we need to see the correlation or the connection in our attributes. It's just like saying the month, the N is turned, or you are turned upside down. The U is turned upside down. The mouth is turned. So let's not go into too much graphic explanation of this. So we are talking about, and this is what the 8 is actually the mouth as well. The mouth, the word mouth equals 5, which coincides with the divided God that equals 3. So let's show you how this 3, this is the the dynamic attributes of number 3. So number 3 is like this, and it can also be like this. It could also be like this. It could also be like this. So number 3 is in actual fact the 8-petal flower. So it is an M, it is a W, it is a 3, and it is an E. So this is what we see. I hope you get this. Let's do this again. So it's an M, it's a 3, it's a W, and it's E. That's an 8-petal flower. That's what this time we are in is about. This is, of course, the 3, and that's why 8 in this sense representing the world, because 8 is like the twisted hole. This is like a rubber band, it's just twisted, so we can get work through trying to get our orientation, because this is the world, and this is what this 8 is representing right here, the whole. And I hope this is making sense. So we have the corona. This is corona, which equals 30. Again, this is like a month. But we have virus, which equals 17. So this is 4, 9, 9, 3, 1. So this is 21, 22 plus 4, 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. So we can see this aspect, as I said, we are always having some carrying this virus or something, but we can see here that coincides. It's like the divided God. It's a God. It's a God spirit working, going, growing, and making itself be realized. It wants to be realized. So, as we say, we had the divided God, which, of course, had taken that position of number 5. And number 5 coincides with a new, this is why we have been talking about a new world as well. So, N, it's a new world. If we were to turn this upside down, we could say it's a new man, M-E-N, and this is coinciding with number 5, as in the word Christ, where Christ says, Paul says, it's not renew our mind, to be in Christ. If you are in Christ, you are a new creature. So this is the new creature. The new creature is happening right now. The new creature is coinciding as well with when Mother Eve says, let us make man in our image after our likeness. So if we were to add this here, this is how we have 6. 3 5s 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. Hence the number 15 is very pinnacle as well for change. Now, I often feel that as if I'm ordained to do this, because the numbers that are coming up in these things that I'm doing are so significant to me. So there we are. Um, if we were to add 3 plus 8 here on this virus, we would have 11, and we see that 11 coincides with the first letter that Mother Eve utters. Let there be light, because everything is through the word. The Word was God, and the Word is God, and the Word was in the beginning, and so on and so forth. So this L, we can see that these two letters or two strokes, we have the same two strokes here. Two strokes here. They have been split. They have split now, and that's how we have creation, because they were split. They had been broken by saying let. At each stage when Mother Eve said let, there were the there was wholeness with this L, let. But these were the spell Mother Eve was casting. Let there be light. The word let equals 12, equals 10. But when we do the numerical value for the word 10, it equals 12. And if we did the numerical value for the word 12, Twelve, Twelve, right. And we can see that Eve it's like 12. We could see the L is there in the middle of Eve. It's like it's part of Eve. It's that signature here. So 2, 5, 5, 3, 4, 5. Let's do this. So this is 3 5s 15 plus 3 8 15 18 19 20. So here we are. This is what I am talking about. So we have not only we see how 20 has showed up as in the word 7, as in my other video, as in the other video, but we see 12 as well. And this is where Mother Eve says, let there be light, and there was light. So we have two 12s. Let there be light equals 12. And she says, and there was light, that equals another 12. So can we see how we have 2020? 2020. Now I feel this revelation now is timely. This is for each and every cycle of where Mother Eve says, let there be light, and there was light. This was the first spell. So this spell is really said or uttered to carry out a whole cycle from 1 to, well, it's complete from 1 to 4. And then we have 5, which takes us back into another cycle. And from 5 to 9 is another cycle, 159. And it's no wonder through the numerology of David Phillips, he really expresses or shows the determining line. So if we have the word corona, oh, for instance, corona, and we were to put this in here, so we would have 3 6 9 6 5. Okay, 1. So we have 1 5 6 6 9 3. we can see the attribute of this corona has a very determining line here. This is the line of determination, and that means it is determined to do, to cover this whole aspect, because 9 is covering this whole aspect here, because this would be 7, 8, 9, and 9 is the highest number. Then we have the 2 sixes here, which is again more or less reflecting the 2 sets of creation, 2 sets of human being in this sense here. The number of man is 6 here. And then we have 5. When we're having 5 here, 5 has access to every area. And this is why this corona is able to go everywhere, because it's as if it's got eyes for every angle. This is the line of determination right here. So I feel that I ought to wrap up this video, and perhaps we really should just complete the word virus here and see how that would look on the board, just to complete this. So the word virus is VIRUS. So we have 49931. So we have another 3. So there's another 3. And we have 2 9s. Now we know 9 is birthing. And really, when you have, according to David Phillips, for instance, 3 9s, you have all these 9s. 9 can be a little bit much. This is like being quite temperamental. And this is like birthing excessively. Okay. And we have 1 here. So this one, we had another one, sorry. Yes, so we have 2 1s here, and this is really showing an ability for balance right here on this plane, and this is the physical plane. So we have a number 4, and we have also have a number 3. Basically, if we added the word virus, which equals 8, so this would give us a numerical value of 8. So this is taken, if you like. And so the page is, or all of this is more or less completed, apart from the number 7. So this number 7 tells us, of course, this is where it severs, and for us to acknowledge that we are moving into a new era. Okay. So I'm hoping that this gives you an idea of what is happening and how we can make sense of our world. So thank you for joining me. There is so much more I would like to explain, convey about this, but what I really want to emphasize here in this video is that the number 3 is pinnacle here. I also wanted to highlight one thing before I go, that the letters that make up the number 3 is also the letters that makes up the crux of the that makes up the heart, if you like, of Mother Eve's spell, which is let there be light. Let there be light. Now, I have videos on this if you want to explore my videos, but Mother Eve says let there be light, L-I-G-H-T. But I just want to show you this, that the word there, this is why Mother Eve is saying, when she says let there be light, and there was light, and there was light, not and light, there, where, there. So here, T-H-E-R-E, and in this word, which is very much like 3, it's the same letters. We see that the word hair is also in there. So to think that you need to go over there, or you need to um, do something that represents a distant place, wherever that may seem distant, is a reflection of her. So this is where Mother Eve is saying she's calling us back home to look in here, not over there, what we see as there. Meaning, and that's what we will realize, that no matter where we are also here. It's like you can't run. Everywhere is here right now. Everywhere is present. Everywhere is permitting you a chance to be present. And that's why the serpent was also present in the garden. The serpent was also the gift. The word gift is 7. The word present is 7. The word serpent is also 7. So we can see that the word 7, which equals 20, is coinciding perfectly in our time right now. So here we have 7 equals 20. We speak of 2 creations, so it's 2020. And that's why we are having perfect vision. We are able to see this clearly right now. The word there equals 11. 11, as I've said before, equals the first letter, L. This also, the word 11, the number 11 is coinciding with L. It's got 2 strokes. But if we did the numerical value for the word 11, it gives us 9. I'm not going to go through all of this now. 9 gives us 6. And 6 gives us 7. Takes us back to 20. Takes us back to 20. So the sacrifice which is happening right now, the sacrifice with the 9 letters, because the word sacrifice equals 9 letters. The numbers, we are completing a whole cycle here right now. And as we say, I hadn't gone through this yet, but it's like we are called to pay our dues right now in headquarters zone. This is headquarters. We are now being called to pay, or to have an assessment. It's like you send your assessment to the Inland Revenue to be paid, or you are called to go to headquarters. This is where you are going to know exactly what you are going to be reprimanded for, or you are going to have a valuation on, and so on. So basically, I know this may sound a little bit far-fetched, but this, I have done a lot of videos on this template, and trust me, it really marries to perfection in the sense of correlating with the 14 gods of the Bible, and of course with Mother Eve's spell. So I hope this brings more clarity, and I would love to be able to do more on this, but now I'm going to as well, because I'm a lot about self-love and nurturing and looking after myself. So I'm going to rest my throat for now, unless I feel a little bit more inspired. Okay, so thank you for watching, and stay ignited. I love you, lovely people.